Welcome to the ExExpense Snapshot video series. Today's video is ExExpense Personal Overview. ExExpense Personal is a personal and business expense management and reporting system as well as a file manager. In this video snapshot, you will learn how to add an expense, assign it to a client, project, and a category, and view the list of expenses. Then you will be able to create an expense report, and you will also learn how to add files to the file cabinet. In this section, we will show you how to add a personal expense to your system. When you first log into ExExpense Personal, you will see a list of all the expenses previously entered for the current year. To see other years, simply choose the drop-down. Choose 2015, and you'll see all the expenses for 2015. We can also select to choose all years, selected by client as well, sorted by project, or even sorted by expense type. But we're going to go back to 2016. Now we're going to record an expense. All the forms have been designed to make entry very easy. We use date pickers to pick the dates. Here we have an expense date, which is the date the bill was incurred. The payment date is when the bill was paid. You must assign each expense to an expense type. To see the list of categories, you can either type one or start typing, and it'll show you the available drop-down choices. We're going to enter a medical expense, and we're going to put in $100 for the doctor visit. If you choose an expense other than travel, you can click on the travel button to include the travel details. For example, if you have a personal medical expense, the IRS allows you to also deduct the cost of the mileage, parking, and related travel costs for that medical expense. So I've got $7 for parking, I had $3 for tolls, and it was $36 miles round trip. Notice that the total travel amount and the total amount automatically updates as I add my travel amounts in. Since this is a personal expense, we're going to skip adding the client. We're not going to add a project. We're just going to add a description, and now it's time to choose our file. We click the Choose File button. It will open the folders system on our computer to allow us to choose a file. If we click the Choose File button from a mobile device, smartphone, or a tablet, we have the option to take a picture. That's a great option because you could actually be in the doctor's office, take a picture of the bill right there in the office, upload it to the system, and you're done. Entering a vendor is also built with Type Ahead, so I can simply start typing and see who's in my list of previously entered vendors. We will charge this to Monmouth Medical Imaging. I will scroll up, and now I will hit Save. The item now appears in the top of our list with all supporting documentation. And notice at the top, the total represents the total amount that's in our view. Now that we've added a personal expense, this next section will show you how to add a business expense and assign it to a client and a project. Adding a business expense is just like adding a personal expense. We have date pickers to facilitate the selection of the dates. Now this one we're going to enter in is a trade show, which we don't have an existing category, so we'll just type a new one. This is $350. There is some travel that's associated with this, so we'll include the travel. We know we're going to stay at a hotel. It's one night. We're going to do some parking, which is probably $40 to park. Some tolls to get there, 10, and the miles to drive there is going to be 140 miles. Now we need to choose a file. I have two files to choose from. One is the payment and one is the receipt that they sent me back, so I'll include both of those. This client is the ExExpense client. Choose that. The project is the NJAEPM conference. So I can group all those expenses together. I could say trade show registration fee. The vendor is going to be, and I've entered all my details, and I've saved this. Since we added this in February, notice it is down in date order in my list of expenses. ExExpense includes a powerful expense reporting feature. The next section will show you how to generate expense reports. The summary view defaults to show the current year expenses. The list contains all your expenses by default, but you can filter the display by choosing the filters at the top of the screen. You can choose to see just your medical bills. Reloads. Notice the total is $649 for 2016 medical bills. We could also go and show office supplies. Again, it reloads to show you just that total. We could reset this to all. We could choose just a specific client. We can see all the expenses spent in 2016 on ExExpense, or even we can choose an entire month. Whatever you have selected in the view can be exported to an Excel spreadsheet by clicking the Export to Excel button at the top. Similarly, if we wanted to create an expense report and send it to somebody for a specific month, let's say February 2016, I would choose the filters and then click on Email Report. I would enter the email addresses to send to, click Continue. What happened was the system actually created an Excel spreadsheet of the expenses that you selected based on the filters, saved the Excel spreadsheet, attached it to an email, went through each and every expense that's included, attached that to an email, and emailed it to the person that you wanted. The system also will keep track of every single expense report you've created and emailed, storing what date you created it, what it was for, and who it was emailed to. Let's take a look at what that email looks like. Here's an email that was sent. It says expense report for me, and it tells you when the period was, the 2016 February. Here's all the attachments that were included in that email, and here's the expense report. Let's open that expense report. Here we have a list of all the expenses. The amounts are totaled. Each of the individual travel columns is separated out and totaled separately. You've got your vendor information and your description. ExExpense includes a personal file cabinet. It allows you to upload your files, manage your files, categorize your files, and email your files. In addition to the expenses, ExExpense includes a file cabinet. The file cabinet allows you to upload any kind of a document, any kind of a file attachment, and store and categorize it. Let's add a document. Again, we use date pickers to speed the entry of data, put a description, choose a category, tax documents, choose a file, choose my health equity, and I can save the document. I can see that my document is here. I can now filter these documents, look at only the tax documents, see who uploaded them, which would just be me, or look at them by years. The really neat feature about this is I could actually check off, say, the tax documents. I can choose to email the files. It'll ask me who I want to email them to. For example, my tax accountant. I can include comments, and I would hit continue. It would take those documents and email them off to that person. Whether you're storing sales documents, forms that you could use for your clients, it's a great central repository to keep track of all your documents and blast them out to your clients, friends, family, whoever. This concludes the video snapshot series for ExExpense Personal. If you want more information about ExExpense and ExExpense Personal, please visit our website at exexpense.com. If you would like to sign up, you can sign up right now at exexpensepersonal.com/personal.